in these streets.
And I'm just like you.
We getting locked by these caps.
And I'm just like you.
We fulfill the prophecies.
And I'm just like you.
You might be light, I might be dark.
But I'm just like you.
We kill each other over colors.
And I'm just like you.
I'm in these ghettos, in these slums.
And I'm just like you.
They call you nigga, call me spit.
And I'm just like you.
You was 1619, I was 1492. We getting shot in these streets.
And I'm just like you.
We getting locked by these caps.
And I'm just like you.
Welcome to FCN Quick News of the Day. I'm your host, Officer Daniel, and in today's news we got...
Parents in Aledo ISD got an email from the district Monday afternoon that began, "There is no room for racism or hatred in the Aledo ISD, period." The reason is some students on the 9th grade campus had a Snapchat group labeled with a racial slur and the word auction, where they pretended to bid on black classmates, offering $100 for one and $1 for another. A parent of a student mentioned in the group confirmed a screenshot was sent to their son.
My reaction is, what, again? Again? How many times we got to go through this?
Eddie Burnett is the Parker County NAACP president. He said he's tired of hearing that racial incidents in schools are just bad jokes.
It's just kids. They're just playing. They don't know any better. Well, damn, teach them better.
The district statement says they determined, quote, racial harassment and cyberbullying had occurred and assigned disciplinary consequences, but didn't share any details beyond that.
Part of the issue is parents were really upset that the original memo that came out said nothing about racism.
Joe Jessup is a parent of a 9th grader in the district and says an email sent last week wasn't clear, and there are still questions to answer. She thinks the district could use sensitivity training.
Talk to your kids and to use these incidents as learning tools to discuss.
Well,
That's
if
the
you're
solution.
not teaching and leading by example that it's wrong, then you're tacitly telling somebody that it's okay.
Burnett says after a pattern of incidents in the county, it's clear the problem is bigger than a few students.
This is not us. This is not who we are. It doesn't represent us. Well, yeah, it does.
The district's email encourages conversations. Burnett says that is how to get to the heart of why this group existed and why it keeps happening.
The one way that we have hope of understanding each other is if we have conversations.
In Aledo, I'm William Joy.
So our people are suffering from systemic racism, right? And it keeps occurring, it keeps coming up, and they want to have the conversation. So let's have the conversation. But we're going to include the Lord in this conversation. Let's go to the book of Leviticus chapter 26 and verse 16. Let's start there.
Leviticus chapter 26, verse 16.
Uh-huh.
I will also do this unto you.
Come on.
I will even appoint over you terror.
So God said that he would appoint over the blacks, Hispanics, and the Native Americans, who are the Israelites according to the Bible, he was going to appoint terror over them. Some people don't understand what that word terror means. As soon as you say terror, they think of Arabs, bombs, terrorists, right? But let's get the definition of that word, terror.
Terror.
Read that.
Extreme fear.
Okay, read definition 2.
Definition 2. A person, especially a child, who causes trouble to annoyance.
Come on. Click down to the similar words. Right there, similar words.
Similar words. Demon.
Come on.
Devil. Monster. Horror. Nightmare.
Woo. So that's what that's what God appointed over us. And he's using these other nations to inflict that terror. Come on, go back to the scripture.
Leviticus chapter 26, verse 16.
I
will also do this unto you. I will even appoint over you terror.
Come on.
Consumption.
Sickness.
And the burning ague.
Come on.
That shall consume the eyes and cause sorrow of heart. And you shall sow your seed in vain.
The things that we do, God says we're going to do it in vain because we won't profit from it. Read on.
For your enemies shall eat it.
Your what?
Your enemies shall eat it.
And that's what our people have yet to figure out, that these nations are not our friends. They are not set here so we can join hand in hand. God says they're your enemies. Read on.
I will set my face against you, and you shall be slain before your enemies.
Come on.
They that hate you.
That what?
That hate you.
Come on.
Shall reign over you.
And they know that. They know that they are set over us, but our people have yet to figure it out. Go to Ezekiel chapter 35 and verse 5. Our people have yet to figure it out. These nations hate us, and they know they reign over us. That's why they're allowed to do those things. And they know there's no consequences. Right, there you go, sorry. There's no consequences behind what they do, their actions. Read that.
Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 5.
Uh-huh.
Because thou had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword.
Come on.
In the time of their calamity.
God says because they had a perpetual hatred. Who had the hatred? Who is he talking about? Jump up to verse 2.
Verse 2. Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it.
God is speaking on Mount Seir. Who is Mount Seir? Go to Deuteronomy chapter 2, verse 12. We need to know who is God talking about. Who will have the perpetual hatred against the children of Israel? Read what you got.
Deuteronomy chapter 2 and verse 12. The Horims also dwelt in Seir before time.
Come on.
But the children of Esau.
The children of who?
The children of Esau.
Read.
Succeeded them.
God says that Edom is the Mount Seir. Esau is Mount Seir. Let's go back. Edom is Mount Seir. God is speaking on them. They will have that perpetual hatred against the children of Israel. You blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. This is why that systemic racism continues to occur. Read verse 5 again.
Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 5. Because thou had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword.
Read.
In the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end.
So God is saying that is the purpose that they are here for. They are a discipline weapon to use for Israel. Go to Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 48. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 48. Why does this systemic racism continually happen to Israel? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
There we go. We back on the topic of God says we're serving our enemies. We have yet to figure it out. We are in captivity thinking that this is a society that we can join to, that we can be equal to. We're fighting for equality against something that was never set up for that. Read.
Which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things.
God says that these curses was going to be upon us and we would have to serve them in the want of all things. Jump down to verse 32.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
That's slavery. Your sons and daughters given to another people. Read.
And thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long. And there shall be no might in thine hand.
And we wouldn't have power to change it. That's why we march. That's why we protest. That's why we always have to speak on that racism that continuously concurs. Because we have no power in this society. Verse 41.
Verse 41. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them. For they shall go into captivity.
They shall go into slavery. That's why they can open, these children can go and create some type of online account or online chat with Negro auction on it and say, we're pretending to bid on blacks. That's why they do that, because they know this history is our history. Go to Baruch chapter 3, verse 8, because it's still happening even till today. We are still in captivity, and it's not going to change until we have figured out why we are in captivity and then change that. Change what we have done wrong, which is the breaking of God's commandments. We went into slavery for breaking God's commandments. Read.
Baruch chapter 3, verse 8. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach, and a curse.
God said he scattered us. He put us in slavery for correction. We are here to learn that we are the children of Israel. We have broken God's commandments, and therefore we're going to suffer systemic racism until we repent. Read it again.
Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us, for a reproach and a curse.
Read.
And to be subject to payments.
And to be subject to payments. Your water bill, your light bill, rent. This is something as if you were considered rulers or set above how the children of Israel was supposed to be established, you would not have to pay. You wouldn't have to pay tribute unless you was servants. You was slaves. That's why you pay tribute. They just changed the title. Now it's called rent. Now it's called mortgage, bank loan. Right? That's it on that?
According to the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord our God.
God said, which departed from him. So we are in slavery because we have departed from the Lord. And now the Lord is going to ask us, do we want to stay in this estate? Go to Jeremiah chapter 2 and verse 14.
Jeremiah chapter 2 verse 14. Is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave?
God says, you Israelites, you blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, are you servants? You're fighting systemic racism to say, listen, stop calling us Negro, nigger, stop calling us slaves. But your mindset is still slaves. Your mindset is still Christianity. Your mindset is still Christmas. Your mindset is still Easter Sunday. You still have systemic racism in your mind because you worship these nations. Read it again.
Is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled?
God says, why are you spoiled? Why are you continuously acting like a slave? Why are you continuously acting like a homeborn servant? It's because we have not disconnected ourselves with these nations and accepted our heritage.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.